All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er Cardinal preview. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, two locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m., 7 days a week, or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Get the brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And this video is brought to you by Mojo Fantasy. Check that link in the description. Use the promo code KRUG, KRUEG, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right, let's talk a little bit about this matchup. The Niners and the Cardinals. The Cardinals coming to town. They're 3-10. The Niners are in first place. The Niners can clinch the division with a win over the Cardinals. They've beaten the Cardinals 3 straight. What's the key to victory in this thing? Okay, there's a few keys. One, stop the run. You got to stop the run. And this is going to be a little bit more difficult than we thought because Javon Hargrave is not going to play. Eric Armstead is not going to play. So that means the Niners are down their 2 starting defensive tackles. So the onus is on Javon Kinlaw, Kevin Givens, and Kalia Davis. Not to mention Fred Warner. And if Dre Greenlaw plays, Dre Greenlaw to fill those gaps and stop the run. And the other thing in the run game, you got to be aware of Kyler because Kyler's a big-time runner who can take it to the house. And you got to be aware of Rondale Moore out of the backfield. He's responsible for 156 rushing yards this season. So Cardinals ranked 9th in rushing. They average 123.9 rushing yards per game. So running the ball is the strength of that football team for sure. The Niners have to take away that run game, make them one-dimensional, and then make Kyler Murray play quarterback from the pocket. If they've got the run game and the play action game open for all 4 quarters, it's going to make it very difficult to beat this Cardinal team despite their 3-10 record. The other thing I think is going to be a major key in this game, they've got to contain Kyler Murray. The Niners have been doing an incredible job the last month against mobile quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts rushed for only 20 yards on 7 carries, and his longest run was 7 yards. So they did a really nice job at rushing Jalen Hurts. They did a really nice job against Geno 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on Thanksgiving in Seattle at rushing him. And what they're doing is they're coordinating their rush. They're staying in their lanes. They're making sure they're balanced across the line. Even if somebody jumps inside, maybe the tackle jumps outside. They try to coordinate and rush as one. And that really is the way to do it. You're probably not just going to bolt into the backfield and sack Kyler Murray. You're going to have to squeeze that pocket, shrink that pocket down, and just kind of get him hemmed in. And hopefully somebody can get within close range and then bring him to the ground. So if you give him obvious run lanes, he's going to take it. And, if you look at the history, the Niners have faced Kyler 5 times. In those 5 games, he's run for 268 yards and 2 touchdowns. So when the pocket collapses around him, he's going to try to get out and run. When he does run, he's got the ability to take it the distance. So you got to keep him in the pocket, and you got to bring him to the ground. You got to break down in space against him in an appropriate manner, under control, and bring him to the ground. So that's going to be a major key. The other key is limit their explosives. They've got Hollywood Brown. They've got Greg Dortch. They got a really good receiving tight end in Trey McBride. They've got a super speedster in Rondale Moore that they'll use, basically all over as a running back, as a receiver. They'll hand it to him. I mean, he's their gadget guy. And then they've got Kyler. So they've got the ability to gash you with big plays. So they got to wrap up against James Conner. They got to make sure that he doesn't get big, explosive 10-plus yard runs. When you look at the first matchup between the Niners and the Cardinals did a really nice job at not missing tackles. They only missed 3 tackles all game. Last week against Seattle, the 49er defense missed 14 tackles. So limiting the Cardinals' explosives are going to be huge, and making tackles and being very sure, as far as bring. Obviously, you want to wrap up. You want to make sure that they get lots of hits on the ball carriers. You got to have a lot of guys around the football, and everybody's got to run to the football, and then you got to break down in space. Another key is Brock Purdy. Just don't turn it over. Brock Purdy's been absolutely fantastic this year, and that's why he's one of the leading candidates to win the MVP. He just got to keep playing efficient football. I mean, that's really it. Again, he's 2-0 against the Cardinals. He's 35 of 41. He's completed 85.4% of his passes against the Cardinals. He completed 95% in the last game. He went 20 of 21, 95.2% last time. So he's done really well against the Cardinals. He's got 4 touchdowns, a 146 passer rating. As I said, he completed 95% in the last matchup against them, and just a little bit more of the same. And then the Niner focus has got to be there. Their intensity's got to be there. This Cardinal team's got nothing to lose. They're going to try to steal possessions. They're going to try. They may try a fake punt. They may go for it on 4th down. I mean, they're going to let it all hang out. Why? Because they're 3-10. The 49ers are 10-3. The Cardinals are 3-10. If you think that you can't lose to them, you got to think again. Now, the one huge factor is the place is going to be rocking and rolling. State Farm Stadium there in Arizona is going to have over 60% Niner fans. So a big win here for the 49ers. They clinched the NFC once again. They remain undefeated in the division, and they're still in line for that number 1 seed and home field advantage for the road to the Super Bowl in February in Las Vegas. So it's a huge game for the 49ers. Now, they did make some moves leading into the game. They brought up interior defensive lineman T.Y. McGill and running back Jeremy McNichols to the game day roster. For McGill, it's his first elevation of the season. So this guy's a really good football player. This is where the Niners' depth really rules the day. Armstead's out, Hargrave's out. They need Kalia to step up. They need Kinlaw to step up. They need Givens to step up. But they also have a defensive tackle in T.Y. McGill who knows how to play, is good against the run, good against the pass, 300 pounds, very active, very smart, and they can call him off their practice squad. And that right there is a huge, huge advantage to be able to just go to somebody that talented. So that I think that's going to be a major plus for the 49ers. Just the fact that a guy like T.Y. McGill is there and ready to step into the lineup. So I think that's going to be a major advantage for the 49ers. So, the Niners come in with health concerns. There's no question. Armstead's out, Hargrave's out, Elijah Mitchell's out, Ross Dwelly's out, the linebacker Oren Burks is out. That's another area right there. Does D. Winters and or Jalen Graham step in for Oren Burks? And what kind of game do how well do the rookie linebackers play? I've got tremendous confidence in those guys because they're really both very, very talented players. Niners are a 12-point favorite. The over-under is 48. I'm expecting probably a kind of a higher scoring game. The 49ers can score, and the Cardinals have a lot of speed. So the Cardinals roll in with a little injury concerns of their own on their side of the ball. They've got 6 players listed as questionable heading into this game. Hollywood Brown and Michael Wilson, the receivers. I don't think Wilson's going to go, but I do think Brown's going to go. The tight end Jeff Swaim's dinged up. The linebacker Chris Barnes from UCLA's dinged up. Their punter's hurt. Their offensive lineman Elijah Wilkinson is hurt. And they're struggling on offense. I mean, the Cardinals score 17 points a game. That's 27th in the NFL. They average 296 yards per game. That's 26th in the NFL. So this is not an awesome vintage Cardinal offense, but they're dangerous, right? Connor's going to run physically. Murray's really difficult to contain. Hollywood Brown can always go the distance. So can Rondale Moore. Defensively, Arizona's not great on that side of the ball either. They give up 355 yards a game. That's 23rd in the NFL. They give up 25.5 points per game. That's bottom 3 in the NFL. So, this is a game the 49ers should win. But the big key, of course, is going to be what it always is, and that's turnovers. How do you get upset in the NFL? You turn the ball over. Arizona has been really strong in the turnover department this season offensively, and especially over the past 3 games. The Niners and the Cardinals both rank in the top 10 in giveaways this season. The Niners average 0.9 a game. The Cardinals average 1.2 a game. So if you look at the last 3 games, Arizona's been really, really good. They've given up just 2 turnovers in the last 3 games. So they've been sound. They've been taking care of the football. The 49ers have been one of the best teams in the NFL all year at forcing turnovers. They record 1.8 forced turnovers a game. That's top 3 in the NFL. So to me, this is a major, major key in the game. The turnovers. Are the Niners +1, +2? If they are, they're going to win. If they're -1, they still got a shot. If they're -2, it's going to be very, very difficult. Anything over -2 is probably going to be an upset defeat at the hands of the Cardinals. So the key is stop James Conner. That's the one thing. They're going to run James Conner. They're going to go a high volume of runs to the big back, and he's 230 pounds. And, when their last time out against the Steelers, he had 105 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. They gave it to him 25 times, and he averaged over 4 yards a carry. So, Arizona will run the heck out of the ball. I'm expecting this game to be a quick game because I think the Niners are going to try to run it a lot at Arizona, and I think Arizona is going to run it a lot back at the Niners. They ran 38 times, and they kind of controlled the pace of the game against the Steelers, and they converted 10 third downs. So the 49ers have been really good against mobile quarterbacks. Murray's probably the most mobile of any of the quarterbacks they faced. And they're going to have to force turnovers. And then the red zone's going to be huge. The 49ers have been elite in the red zone as far as, converting red zone trips into touchdowns. They've scored 7 points on 9 of their 10 trips inside the red zone this year. And they now face off against an Arizona offense that also ranks in the top 5 in red zone scoring at 63%. But they've been perfect inside the 20-yard line over the last 3 games. So who scores touchdowns in the red zone is going to be a major, major key in this thing. If you settle for field goals instead of touchdowns in the red zone, that's probably going to get you beat in the second half. Overall, if you look at Arizona, this should be a game the 49ers win. I think the key matchup is going to be Nick Bosa against Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson's a rookie, and he wears number 70. He's a terrific talent. And he's going to be a great, great player, but I need to see Bosa win that matchup against the rookie right tackle. 49ers have to do a really good job against Trey McBride, and don't forget Elijah Higgins, the rookie tight end from Stanford. Has got when they go 2 tight end sets, Higgins can really run. As far as the Cardinals on defense, I think the number one guy you got to get blocked is Budda Baker. Budda Baker is an all-pro free safety. He wears number 3. He's a terrific player. He wasn't there in that first matchup with the 49ers. He is the ringleader on the back end. He makes big plays against the run and the pass. If you're going to have success in either phase, you got to beat Budda Baker. And I asked George Kittle about it this week. He says he loves matching up with Budda Baker. He thinks he's a great competitor. He's one of the best safeties in all of football. So to me, that's another matchup. George Kittle and Budda Baker. Can Kittle win against Budda Baker? And more importantly, just not allow Budda to take things over on the back end. To me, that's the wild card factor. Budda could come up with 12 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. I mean, he's that kind of an impact guy. They've got to minimize the impact of Budda Baker in this football game. If they do that, run the ball, stop James Conner, keep Kyler Murray hemmed in the pocket, I think the 49ers could win this game by 10 to 14 points. And I do think the 49ers are going to play well on the road. They just seem like they really do circle the wagons and play well on the road. As I said, it's going to be a very pro 49er crowd. Over 60% of the crowd should be wearing Niner gear and pulling for the Niners. So I like the 49ers to win the game. I'm going to say 49ers 27, Cardinals 14. 27-14 49ers is the way this thing's going to finish, and the Niners are going to get another win and keep their 11-3 record as they roll in to take on the Ravens on Christmas night. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Mojo Fantasy for sponsoring this video, and thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.